What's poppin'? You are listening to the Keep It Cute podcast, and I am your host, Amber Symone, and you are listening to the 10th episode of the Keep It Cute pod. I am joined this week by a very special guest by the name of Aaliyah Little. Thank you for joining me this week, Aaliyah.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I appreciate you. Honestly, y'all, I'm sitting here doing this podcast. I got a whole radio Broadway personnel next to me.
Stop it.
Seriously. I'm like, she's the one who should be teaching me the ropes. But Aaliyah, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You know, when you asked me to come on Keep It Cute pod, I was like, that's one thing we're going to do. We're going to keep it cute.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we're going to do this podcast. So I'm really honored to be here. So thank you.
No, definitely. Y'all, I see Aaliyah every week on my Keep It Cute pod Instagram. Shameless plug, follow at Keep It Cute pod on all socials. Mm-hmm. But Aaliyah each week, like she comments, she interacts with me, and I see and feel the love. And even for me to be at episode number 10 and still going strong, it's because of y'all. It's like all this love that's pouring into this project that I started this year. And again, like the support of my guests sitting here next to me, I appreciate it.
Just you gotta support your friends.
Truly.
That's one thing we're gonna do.
I'm like, even if the pod is starting off small, like it is mighty. Yes. Small but mighty. So Aaliyah, how you doing this week?
Honestly, I'm good. I'm kind of tired.
Yes.
You know, I'm feeling that. Maybe it might be the LA weather, you know. How
it's gloomy.
It's been gloomy, rainy, and I'm the type of person I thrive off of sunshine.
Yeah.
So I think I'm feeling tired, but I'm really excited to be here. So when I saw you, my energy level picked up.
I love it. As it should. I'm telling you. I kind of like the gloom. I'm like, it's raining. I feel like I'm in an Usher music video.
I'm not about to play.
I really be feeling the mood sometimes. I don't like being outside in the rain though. Y'all see my hair, and if you are
it's laid right
listener,
now, by the way.
It is not curly, so when I walk out, it frizz right on up. So,
ooh, but it's still laid right now, though.
I appreciate
y'all see that.
you.
Look right now, it's laid.
That is from 10 bottles of hairspray. So my hair, I was at dinner with my coworkers right before this, and they put the little, what is that thing called? They just put the heater right next to me, and I was like, y'all. Now, you know, I am not the right person to have this heater next to, because if my head go up in flames, y'all are getting a lawsuit. And my coworkers were laughing, but I'm like, y'all, I'm kind of serious.
Yeah, it's that laugh where you like,
right.
Come on now.
I got more to lose. But no, so it is, what time is it? 9:30 p.m. PST on our end. So we are doing a late episode tonight. I really want to highlight Women's History Month as of March 2023. I'm very adamant about having only women and boss-ass women who are doing great things on this podcast this month. I honestly thought about so many people, but I was like, boom, Aaliyah, if she agrees, we are in there, which she did. And like Aaliyah's doing so many great things on her end, watching her journey from mental health, from creator activities, like everything. So Aaliyah, I want to hear a little bit more about what's been going on in your world.
Yeah. So honestly, I've just been working a lot. I'm currently at NFL Network.
Doing boss things.
Thank you. I'm working in media admin. So I work in like file transfer, archive, you know, all the boring behind the scenes stuff. But must be done.
But the stuff, somebody has to do it, and it's
somebody
stuff that
has
matters.
to do it. And I'm also at ABC News as well.
Oh, so she's working double jobs.
We got two jobs.
She got two jobs.
Right,
she got two checks.
Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Okay. So aside from working though, I try to make sure that I take care of myself mentally and physically. So I do therapy right now. I see my therapist about every other week, and that's been game changing for me. Definitely. Honestly, keeping me on track, keeping me sane, keeping me mentally healthy. It's been freeing.
Yeah. How long have you been on your therapy journey? Like going consistently once, like every other week or so?
I've been going, I'll say, about every other week for the past year and a half.
That's
almost
amazing.
2 years. Yeah. I actually started when I was in college, my sophomore year in college. That was my first time ever going to therapy when we were at UCLA.
Yeah, it's always like, especially when you're a young adult, I will say like this new generation of seeing parents putting their 5-year-olds in therapy. I'm like, that's amazing, because a lot of us didn't experience that until we were actually in college or even out of college. And obviously some people still never. And it's like adults who are experiencing this for the first time. But it is so needed in our communities.
I completely agree. And going back to how you said even 5-year-olds, you know, you were seeing the ages get younger and younger going into therapy. And that's one thing I'm really pushing for my sister to do for my nephews, because I feel like when you're at a young age and you know how to express and sit with your emotions, you know, and also be vulnerable, I feel like that's something that you carry into your teenage years, to your adulthood, where you feel like people don't understand. But being able to have all these things in your back pocket, all these different like tactics and just like, knowing how to cope with things.
Exactly.
It makes a world of a difference.
It's like those small techniques when you look at, oh, when I'm angry, what is prompting this? Or how do I respond to something like this?
Yes.
And then you think about, oh, my therapist did say this one thing. Let me take a beat. Let me run down the list and see how I can like dissolve or diffuse the situation.
Yep.
Because when you don't have that, and like say, for example, I'm just going to use anger because I feel like a lot of times anger is misplaced. And especially when you get angry and say you don't know how to handle that situation, you're overwhelmed, you're upset, or kids start fighting and they're like, why am I reacting to this certain emotion this way? When you go to therapy and you figure out different ways, this is how I think I should respond. And it does make me feel better. And it is a better outcome. Oh, this kind of works. Because a lot of people have such like a terrible outlook on therapy. Like, oh, something has to be wrong with me. Even if it's not, you can benefit from it in some way.
I completely agree. You know, so I started going to therapy when I was in college, and it initially started because I was on the verge of an eating disorder my sophomore year in college. And I was like excessively working out. I was just, you know, doing it for unhealthy reasons. And I remember I started to feel depressed. But I didn't know how to like
respond.
I was like, I don't know what this is. I was like, I've never felt this before. What is this? I remember I was talking to my dad, and my dad's like, you know, I think it's to the point where you need professional help. So I went to CAPS. That's at UCLA, you know, the therapy.
I remember CAPS.
And I got with this therapist, and she, you know, I got blessed for the first time seeing a therapist, and for the first time, we just hit it off.
Yes.
You know, because I know a lot of people don't have those experiences. And I just also want to speak to that as well. If you meet with a therapist and you don't feel like it's the perfect match, don't give up. Like, keep going.
There's so many people out there.
So many options and so many people that you'll connect with, and you'll find the right person that matches for you.
Definitely. I think that's like, you know, at least you're able to process it in your situation and have like supportive parents to at least like be like, you know, this is what the next step might be. Because when you're kind of like in that cloud of like, I don't know how to feel, I don't know what to do, and just having someone help guide you in that direction. Because it is kind of like, you know, when you start feeling those waves of something that's not normal to you and you're like, you don't know how to put your finger on it. It's a very tricky thing when you feel a certain kind of way and you're like, I don't know what this is.
It's a foreign concept.
Yes.
You're like, I don't know which one it is. I'm like, I don't know how to figure it out. It's kind of like that Disney movie Inside Out. You know, where you have anger, you have sadness.
That is an amazing movie.
I feel like every kid in elementary school, schools all over the country, all over the world actually, should show that movie, because it teaches people that your emotions are natural. You're going to be sad. You're going to be happy. You're going to be angry. But it's all about how you process all those emotions and how you move forward from them.
Definitely. So like from then, like when you started up until now, have you seen like major improvements, or like just how do you feel like since you started?
Honestly, it makes me so emotional talking about it, because I have been the bottom of the bottom. Like, I know how it feels to, like, you have to seek mental health therapy. And I've been to the point where it's like, you know, I had to go. I'm at, you know, God broke me down, and I had to seek help. And, sorry, I forgot your question.
No, girl, it's okay.
I get so emotional.
No, me too. I might need to go grab a tissue. So, Leah, you ain't warned me for this one. No, I was just saying, like, how do you feel now more so? Like, in terms of improvements from therapy? Like, has that guided you to passion projects? Like, really just, those positive moments in your life that I've been seeing. That's why I was like, how has that transition been?
Yeah, so honestly, I feel really good after being in therapy for so many years that it's made me translate what I learned from in my therapy sessions to just life in general. So what also has helped me is getting in the gym, getting fit, getting active, because like I realize those endorphins that you feel after a workout, it helps you mentally. Yes, like if I'm having such a crappy day, I'm like, let me go to the gym. Let me have these endorphins flow, and then I'll figure it out after. I'll leave out of there feeling like Creed. Like I'm just like, I'm ready to knock everything out.
Conquer the world, seriously.
So I'll say overall, I just feel a sense of joy, but I also feel a sense of peace and gratitude for the journey that has brought me to where I am today.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. Like, honestly, I know you always have put an emphasis on like my mental health journey, but like I wonder where that stemmed from. Like, what started this whole, this whole journey that you have been posting on Instagram. So
yeah, I'll say definitely it dated back to college, and I'm a very outgoing person. I love people.
Yes,
I love talking. I like making people happy and feel good, special, and things like that. And I even remember in college, I started getting social anxiety. That was after I started seeing my therapist, and we were just starting to unravel things.
Yes,
and my social anxiety even started happening around my best friends, my friend group in college at the time. And, they didn't understand what was happening. Why is Aaliyah being this way? Why is she acting this way? I didn't understand it either.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, we started to unravel different things and we started to peel back the layers. And then I started to go to group therapy. And a lot of people are like, group therapy? They're like, absolutely not. I'm not going to walk in there.
I'm not telling people my business.
Right. I'm not telling people my business. And then also, I'm not going to be like, hi, my name's Aaliyah. I deal with depression. Hi, Aaliyah. No, it's nothing like that.
I said, wait, is that how it
goes? No. But actually, when you go to group therapy, you're in a room with maybe like 6-7 people. It's like usually a small group.
Okay.
And I'll say group therapy helped me even more than individual therapy sessions. And I say that because when you're in that room, everyone is going through something similar and it lets you know that you are not alone.
Yes.
And just from the support that I've had, and I've made friends through my group therapy sessions, these are like lifelong friendships now. And it's like, you have your friends and not everyone can understand what you're going through or, not everyone has dealt with any mental health things yet. So they don't know how to be there for you.
Yes.
But when you have a community of people that are where you are walking in your shoes, they're able to support you on a different level. You know what I mean? So I encourage, even if it's, just a group therapy session with 1 or 2 people, just try it out.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Don't knock it till you try it. Because it honestly saved my life. Yeah. And I'm so thankful for it.
That is amazing. Like you said, like knocking out that stigma of group therapy.
Yeah.
And then you never know like the joys that will come from it. Like you said, like finding your people. And it's like in addition to the people who you already have who love you in your life. So
of course.
I'm like, I tell people all the time, no matter what you're going through, if you do feel like there's no one you can talk to, go try therapy. And I do think people don't talk about group therapy a lot. And typically it's like, find a counselor. You like find someone who you're compatible with, but maybe that's a group of people and you just never know.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, I found group therapy is kind of like talking to your homegirls in a way.
Yeah.
Or like your homeboys, your homies. But it's just a little different because these homies are going through the same thing that you may be going through. So they just have like a different level of understanding. Not saying that your normal group of friends are going to be dismissed or anything like that. Or even if that is the case, you can find support through other people. I just want people to know that there's always a way out of a situation, and you're never alone. And in that case, that's why I'm such a big advocate for therapy, because like I said, it saved my life.
Oh, yeah. Leah, well, you know I love you.
I love you too. Seriously, that's why. Don't make me cry.
No, every year I'm telling you, like, your energy, like your spirit is just so, like, I don't know, it's just a ray of light when you walk in a room. My mom always is like, oh, what if she has the curly hair? I'm like, you talk about Aaliyah. She's like, have you talked to Aaliyah? I'm like, girl, what? How do you know Aaliyah? I'm like, she literally loves you to death. And I can say that wholeheartedly about everybody who runs into you. So grateful that you were here. Seriously.
Thank you. Oh, we're shedding tears on Keep It Cute Pod, y'all.
Aaliyah, thank you so much for sharing your story. I know it's been so helpful for anybody who's listening, even myself. What is one piece of advice you would give to anyone regarding mental health or their mental health journey?
I think the one piece of advice I would give is, and speaking of group therapy, you know, when I was in group therapy, one girl told me, because I was struggling hard to overcome this certain thing, and she told me, she was like, you have to forgive yourself for the person you were, that you had to be in order to survive, because you're no longer that person. And that's my biggest advice, is forgiving yourself and showing yourself compassion, because I know throughout my mental health journey, you know, whether I've had social anxiety, you know, I'm not talking to people, I may be acting funny towards people, or like, you know, I'm lashing out on people because I don't know how to deal with my own emotions.
Yes.
That's not the person that, you know, Aaliyah typically is, you know, but that was who I had to be to get through the days and survive. Not that you're intentionally hurting people, but you didn't know how to deal with what you had going on upstairs. And so that's my word to advice to people, is to realize that you're human, show yourself some compassion, and also don't forget to just forgive yourself throughout this journey, because you're going to fall, you're going to make mistakes. You know, you may hurt people along the way, but it's all about how you move intentionally. And, you know, the right people will know that you love them, right? And that you're just figuring it out. So that's my biggest piece of advice, is to just learn to forgive the person that you had to be in order to survive, because now you're a new person. You shedded that old skin, and you gotta keep it moving.
Girl, let me get my notebook out. I said, I really do. I am taking notes for real.
And, you know, anyone that's listening to this podcast, you know, anyone that I may have rubbed off the wrong way when I was going through hard times, you know, I'm sincerely sorry. And, you know, I'm doing the best that I can every day moving forward.
And that's all you can do. I'm so glad you pointed that out, because I think too, us in our 20s, and obviously friendships and life changes so frequently. And you just never know what somebody's going through. And I think too, giving other people grace, giving yourself grace, because like you mentioned, I think it's so important. You're like peeling back those layers and figuring out, why am I acting like this? What is happening? Who are the people who are still supportive of me while I am going through this, you know, rocky transition in time? It's really important to notice, or even just take note of, maybe my friend is not okay. If they have stepped back for a little bit, it's okay. But let me just poke every here and again. Like, are you good? Like, sending love. I appreciate you. Oh, you did something that was out of character. Is this my friend 24/7? Probably not. What's happening?
You hit the nail on the head with that one.
Probably not.
Exactly. Is looking at it from a holistic approach. Like you said, like, is my friend normally like this, or is she going through something that caused her to act like this, you know? And needless to say, like, I've been in situations where, you know, I've lost friends because I may have done something that I wouldn't normally do, but it was because I just had a lot going on and I didn't know how to deal with the situation. But now that I've grown past that and I've learned how to deal with certain emotions and different aspects of my life, now I can look back on that situation and say, you know what? That I don't normally do things like that. You know what I mean? That was outside of my character, but it's okay because I forgive myself for that. I learn from it and I'm going to keep going. Exactly. So that's why you have to check in with yourself, check in with your friends, even your strong friends.
I know. Y'all check in with your strong friends for real. Because I'm like, sometimes I remember the transition after college. So a little background, Ali and I both went to UCLA.
Go Bruins.
Y'all, they done put a chip in us.
I know we
every time we talk about UCLA, everybody be like, go Bruins. I'd be in a work meeting. They'd be like, okay. Like, honestly, even in the workforce, little tangent. But once you graduate and you get into like entertainment or like whatever it may be, of course, people talk about their colleges from time to time. But after a while, everybody went to different places. And it's like, okay. Everywhere. And it really is like an and effect. I'm like, okay,
it's
never mind. But no, anyways, Ali and I both went to UCLA, and I think it's amazing to see both of us, you know, everyone kind of like branched out, went into their own careers, went to get masters, went to get doctorates, like all kind of degrees. And for Ali and I feel like it's so special because we've stayed in contact. And I will say too, like in college, you and we weren't best friends, but it's like this girl has really good energy, and I think I like good energy.
I'm gonna say the same.
I'm gonna stay close with people who have good energy, at least in some proximity. And over time, year after year, it's like always a little poke, like, "Hey, Aaliyah, pull up," or like, "What are you doing? You want to be on the podcast?"
And I'm gonna pull up every time.
No, she does. She literally does, y'all. It's probably 10 p.m. at this point, PST. But all that to say is, so much is happening in our lives, and we're on such not even different tracks, like we are in similar-ish fields.
We're both like in the entertainment industry.
Exactly, we're in similar fields. And I think just to see how everything has evolved from ourselves to our relationships, and not even just romantic relationships, but like our friendships, and just seeing where we are now, like it's good to see Black women thriving. Let's just say that, especially like being college graduates. When I graduated from UCLA, I was like, kind of bummed, because I was like, you know, everybody's leaving, and
we're all
like
going our separate ways.
Everybody's going their separate way, and it was kind of like, a little dagger, but life goes on.
Yep.
But then you just have to remember, like certain people, like you want to, you know, keep in your pocket, not your back pocket, but your front pocket,
side pocket, not your back pocket.
I don't want to sit on you now. No, but seriously, like it's always good to keep those type of friendships around you, and just that energy to kind of like pick you up on your bad days. You never know.
I completely agree. And also too, is also, and speaking to like friendships, it's also great to have friends that support you in like different avenues for like what you want to do and different hobbies that you're into now. And I thank Amber for supporting me along my fitness journey.
I know. Yeah. Leah popped out at the top of the year, and I was like, oh my God, like, is this illustrated swimsuit line? Like, I'm like, what is happening? Like, I just wanted to know, like, you know, your journey, and like on your like what, honestly, now that we're getting into it, how has your mental health journey kind of like push you into what you're doing now, like your passion projects and whatever that may be?
Of course. So I would say my mental health journey helped push me into my passion projects. Right now, my passion project is mainly fitness. So right now I'm studying to become a certified personal trainer and nutritionist.
Amazing.
Thank you. I should be done.
Third job, third check.
Third job.
Third job, third check.
Third time's a charm.
Yes,
third check, like you said. Run it up.
No, for real.
But I'll be done in about a month. And I'll say that the mental health has inspired me getting into fitness and becoming a personal trainer because I've seen what getting in the gym has done for me mentally. I said, like when you feel the endorphins and you feel like you go into the gym, you can have a bad day. But when you're in that gym and you put on your headphones and you're cranking out squats, hip thrusts, whatever you're doing that day, and you kill it, you can apply that to your life outside of the gym.
Definitely.
And so through that's when I found my motivation. I'm like, you know what? This is helping me become mentally strong. I'm building that mental muscle that I need to power through my days. And I'm learning that through the gym. And I'm like, I want to help other people, especially other women, Black women, see that throughout the gym, it makes you feel invincible and it makes you overcome anything. 100%. So that's a part of like me putting together my workout programs right now is I don't want people to just feel like, okay, I want to work out for the aesthetics. Everyone wants that, but I want you to find your why. I want you to really dig deep and figure out, why am I working out? Why am I in the gym? I want you to think of things that are beyond superficial, because once you find your why and it's beyond that,
you'll be invincible.
You will be freaking invincible.
Yeah.
And so that's a part of like my program I'm putting together right now is finding your why and also just showing women that your mental health and your physical health, they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah. Truly. And it's like, too, when you think about going into the gym, you talked about it's making you mentally strong, which that is so important. Because I will say those days when you just want to stay in the house, lay on the couch, the blinds are closed, it's been dark in the day from sun up to sundown. And I will say sometimes it makes you, depending on what kind of person you are, you may feel like I haven't accomplished anything today. I haven't done much today. I've only laid down today. But like you said, even it could be a 15-minute workout, a walk. You went outside, you went to the gym, but just to get your body physically moving and just getting your head in the game, you apply that to everything else. Because even, girl, this morning I was supposed to go to the gym, but I wasn't mentally strong this morning.
It's okay, me either.
I was not mentally strong this morning.
My alarm clock went off at 7 and I said, well, we're gonna snooze that. I'm gonna sleep in today.
I'd be like snooze, snooze, snooze. But even for myself, like I've tried to be better, and I feel like this is gonna have to be a whole nother podcast episode. But even like for me, and like you talked about just like body image and like weight earlier when we talked about your mental health journey, like on my end, I'm like, after graduating from UCLA, I'm like, ooh, the weight gain, Lord Jesus, help me. I felt
that too.
Help my soul. It's just our bodies are changing so frequently, as they should though.
Right. And we're becoming grown women.
As they should. I'm like, oh, is that a stretch mark I see? Or is that this? Or just like all these things. And we are so nitpicky about ourselves, especially as women. Like we are analyzing ourselves 24/7. We look at photos from 2016, like, dang, girl, that bikini. I'm like, oh, Lord.
I was snatched.
Yes. I had these bell bottoms. I had to give them to Goodwill. I was sad. But just like, we are changing so frequently. And like you said, just giving yourself grace and learning to love yourself as you are is a part of being on that journey. It's hard. It's not going to come overnight because also too, like we are evolving constantly. When I'm 30, I don't know if I'm gonna look like this. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
But like you said, that's the beautiful part. We're constantly evolving. And so our mindsets are going to constantly evolve as well.
Yes.
But the key is that, are you going to allow your mindset to keep evolving?
To wrangle. Yes.
That's the difference. Because if you're 30 and, mentally you feel strong about yourself, you're going to feel strong about your body as well.
That is very, very true.
So that's where the mental health comes into play. It's like you can't run from it. It's everywhere, And I think that's just one thing I really stress about that, And I also appreciate you sharing that about body image. And like you said, that's a whole nother thing we can get into.
I'm like, we can get into it, but I'm so serious. Like after college, like it was okay. We were stabilized, and then the pandemic hit. And like, I think just activity levels just shot down so much. And I was in the house doing home workouts, like trying to do anything. I'm like, y'all, this ain't working. Like just doing everything that I could, but then not realizing at UCLA, we were hitting steps like crazy.
The hill, going up, down.
We were walking
everywhere.
So much.
Everywhere.
And I'm like, also too, I have to think about 18-year-old me and 25 going on 26-year-old me are probably not going to look the same. You are not gonna look the same, Amber.
Yeah, you're not gonna look the same, but also your interests may be different.
Yes.
Like while you're in college, you might have liked to be in the gym, pumping out iron, lifting weights. That may have been your thing. But as you get older, like I said, you're evolving. You know what? I may not like to do that. I might like to go play tennis now. That may be my form of exercise. You know, like that's the exciting part, is that we get to discover new parts of ourselves and we get to discover new hobbies and new ways to get fit. And I like how you said sometimes it may just be going for a walk down your neighborhood
Walking
street.
is the easiest exercise. Like every time I watch a YouTube video, how to lose weight in 30 days, how to lose weight in 7 days. They'd be like, oh, I just walked. I'm like, okay.
You're like, oh,
so I just had to go outside today. Maybe I need to start going back into the office. But for real, it's like those small things. And like you mentioned, discovering new things that we enjoy, not just walking from the top of the hill to the bottom. I tried like swimming classes. Swimming was fun. I will say though, the hair was a situation. The hair was a situation. Those little swim caps do not work.
They will slide off in a hurry too.
There's this one swim cap that is advertised for Black women on Instagram. They say the water does not go inside, but I'm just trying to envision me with this swim cap on and coming out and not a drip of water got into that swim cap.
Listen.
Oh no, I don't trust it.
That must be the day I'm gonna hit the lotto or something, because I'm like, something ain't right.
It's literally magic. And I think that's another thing too with us in the gym. And I love your curly hair journey. That's another thing.
Thank you.
Y'all, Aaliyah been on this curly hair journey. I remember a lot of the girls in college, like we were doing big chops, cutting our hair, cutting off the dead weight, like literally, physically, like whatever that looked like. And like just going through like those transitions and then looking at the gym. Ain't nobody wearing a silk press to the gym. Like, if you get a fresh silk press, the gym is not the first place that you were about to be.
Because I know I would sweat that out in a hurry. As soon as I walk in there, I'm drenched. It's gone.
Exactly. How long have you been on your curly hair journey?
I've been on it since maybe about 7 years.
7?
Yeah, and I did a big chop in 2018. I cut it all off. Yeah, and I'll say it's grown back.
Your hair is beautiful. Like your curls are thick.
Thank you. And this is a wash and go. Believe it or not, y'all, it's a wash and go.
You are the 1%er who can achieve a wash and go. A lot of us cannot achieve wash and go, Zulia.
And maybe, you know what, on another podcast, I'll show y'all how I sleep with my hair, everything.
Do you do the pineapple thing?
I actually do 5 pineapples.
5 pineapples?
I would tie my hair in 5 pineapples all over. I take them out, shake it, and go.
Oh, again, 1%er. We have a 1%er in the room.
So that's actually another passion project I'm really passionate about is natural hair.
Yes,
you know, growing up in the South, I grew up getting perms, different things like that. My Nana, they never knew how to take care of it. And I remember not being able to go in the pool because they were like, your hair gonna fall out. You got that new perm.
Oh, no.
It's fresh. I'm like, no. So I just remember, you know, for me, figuring out my natural hair journey and also like being in the gym and then mental health, like it's all come together for me, figuring it out, like who am I?
Yes.
You know, what is my hair? What is my real texture? Who am I mentally? Who am I physically? It's all intertwined into one, into like my whole self. Coming to self, I'll say.
Becoming.
Yes.
Not by Michelle Obama, by Aaliyah Little.
Don't play with it.
All right. Now that you guys have followed us along mental health journeys, friendships, and so much more, I want to jump into something a little fun and just to get to know Aaliyah a little bit better. So I'm going to start off with a few questions. Question number 1.
All right, let's go.
Where are you from and why did you decide to move to this city?
All right. So like Lil Baby said, I'm from Atlanta, so I got a slick mouth. I'm from Atlanta, y'all.
Period.
No, but I was actually born and raised in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
So South Kakalackin. I'm a country girl, raised on a farm, middle of nowhere.
Goodness.
And then we actually moved to LA. My mom was a college professor. And so we did that. And then my mom always knew that I wanted to get into like modeling and acting and commercials.
Yes.
And they were like, why not? Let's do it. So we moved to LA.
So you mentioned commercials. This is not a question on the list, But what commercials have you been in, Miss Aaliyah? Put us on.
I was actually
Is she a Gerber baby? Like what?
No, I wasn't that cute of a baby. But I was actually in Always commercial.
Really?
Always Pad. It was about girl empowerment. So I remember I did a whole it was like a whole day thing, and I remember I actually still get like royalties from the commercial. Yeah, they like renewed it, and like I don't know where it's airing now, but it's somewhere out there. Shout out to Always for them checks that's coming in.
Yeah, we got to run the commercial.
We're gonna run it back. And then I was also like in a music video, it was a country music video.
What?
I was the head cheerleader, and that was pretty fun.
Who's the singer for the country music?
I think his name was Dallas something.
Okay,
I'll find it, and
I was like Lil Nas X.
No.
Like, whose video were you in?
Country video was very fitting because, like I said, I'm from the country, so I grew up. Like, it wasn't my choice of music.
Yes.
But you go to restaurants and everywhere.
Yeah.
It's nothing but country music.
Yeah.
So I grew up on it.
Yes, I understand. I love that. So question number 2. What's your favorite place you've traveled to and why? This bringing up some memories for her.
All right. Favorite place I've ever traveled to has to be Italy.
Okay. Why Italy? Because I've been seeing some controversy about Italy on Twitter, but why Italy?
I love it. The food is amazing.
I believe
Let
that.
me tell you, I can get truffle ravioli for 11 euros. Do you know how much that'll cost you in LA?
$48.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get 48, about $58.
Yes,
Like, it's crazy, but the food is amazing. The people, like, it's just very welcoming. I have a great experience. One guy at a restaurant, we call him Uncle Vinny now. He actually remembered me because I traveled, and then once I came back home, I went back 2 weeks later.
What?
I did. That's another story. It was actually for a guy. I had a little boo thing out there in Italy.
You had a little Italian babe.
Yeah, so I have great memories in Florence, Italy.
Girl, you are living life.
So I'll say that's one of my favorite, and why. The food, the people, the hospitality. It's just beautiful. Italy is probably my favorite country. I actually want to move out there eventually.
What?
Yes.
Girl, I'm going to have to travel to Italy, and we're going to do a little podcast.
Oh, yes. Keep it cute pod international.
No, we're going international, guys. Girl, we're going to have to
cute internationally.
We're going to have to hear about your flyouts on the next pod. Leah getting flued out by the Italians.
City girls.
Up one. So number 3, who was your most listened to artist on Spotify or Apple Music last year?
I use Spotify, and like
right
I said,
answer.
I'm from the South. Lil Baby was definitely number 1.
Okay.
And Lil Baby also got me into some trouble back in November because
how did Lil Baby get you in trouble?
I got a speeding ticket.
Stop.
And no, I'm for real. On the song Get Money, he's like doing 90 and a 35. Like, I don't give a, and I'm on the freeway, and y'all, I actually was doing 90. I didn't realize it.
Oh my God.
I did not realize I was doing 90. But
now Lil Baby getting us caught up.
Yeah. So thank you, Lil Baby, if you're listening to this. You got me a ticket.
How much was the ticket? So
my ticket
I'm gonna have to add
being
him.
about $365.
$365. All right, Lil Baby. At Lil Baby. I know you heard that.
Roll me my money back.
Literally. Girl, that is crazy. So number 4, what's your favorite sports team and why?
All right, for everyone out there listening, it's only one sports team and one sports team only. And we already know who this is. It's the Clemson Tigers.
Ooh.
Don't play with us. That's all I gotta say. And I also have to do the chant. CLEMSONTIGERS. Fight Tigers, fight Tigers, fight, fight, fight. Woo! Let's go. I get so intense talking about it. If you want to go to Clemson University, is one of the greatest colleges in the world. It's located in Clemson, South Carolina. I'm gonna plug my home team right now. Also, too, home with 3 national titles, 2 in the last 5 years, college football. So check us out.
Y'all, literally, That was a whole commercial for the Clemson Tigers. Seriously. I'm like, put her on the field. Right. Like, you guys will win every single game
right
with Aaliyah on the field. Is that your family's team as well?
Yeah, my parents went to college there. I grew up going to games.
Yes.
Literally, like, I have a problem when it comes to Clemson. Like, I've gotten in full-on arguments about that team.
Honestly, that's where the passion comes from.
It's too much passion.
Yeah, though. You said actually we might have to.
I need to reel it back.
You said we
I have a problem. They're not paying me. They're not doing anything. I need to relax.
Girl, get your royalties and get them from Lil Baby too while you at it.
Period. Lil Baby.
And last but not least, what's one thing on your bucket list that you haven't done?
There's actually a lot. But I'll definitely say skydiving.
Yeah, same.
I've been saying, Aaliyah, you're going to go skydiving when you turn 24, 25. Okay, 26. I think this is the year I want to go skydiving. I heard like when you just like go up there, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to come down one way.
You got to come down one way or another. And you know what? I think I've always just been scared because I'm like, I'm really putting a lot of trust in the person that's packing up my parachute.
Yep.
And I'm just going to have to overcome that fear, say a prayer, go up there and let it fly.
Yeah. I know that adrenaline everyone always talks about once you're up there, you are in the clouds.
Yeah.
And then they're like, jump out of the plane. That I've never done it. I want to do it. And I will say, I just haven't booked it. That's literally it.
Well, I'm ready when you are.
I just haven't booked it. That's all.
Well, your birthday's coming up. So that
I know.
might
Skydiving 2023?
Yes.
I'm here for it. I'm always here to try new things. But we are getting towards the end of this Keep It Cute podcast, episode 10. Honestly, I almost forgot it was episode 10 again. Aaliyah, this has been an amazing episode, from the mental health conversations to the friendships, like literally everything we have mentioned today.
Yeah.
It has been so fun. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. And also 10 episodes, like already, like you are absolutely killing it. And I look up to you so much. And honestly, everything you're doing is absolutely amazing. I don't even have enough words to describe just as much as you're doing right now. Ams with the yams, y'all. Don't sleep on her. She's always keeping it cute. Every Wednesday.
Yep, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST. Don't forget to tune in next Wednesday. Episodes come out on a weekly basis. Happy Women's History Month, and I will catch you next week. Good night.